There is a beauty in silence, not the silence of absence, but the silence that speaks without words. The silence of resilience, discipline, and inner strength. Successful women carry secrets within them, secrets that are not shouted from rooftops, but quietly lived in their daily choices. These silent secrets become the foundation of their greatness. A tree doesn't make noise while it grows, yet one day it gives shade, fruits, and shelter. Similarly, successful women cultivate themselves silently, but their lives speak volumes. There comes a moment in everyone's life when the world around them seems louder than the voice within. People offer opinions, judgments, and sometimes discouragement, and in all that noise, many lose sight of their inner strength. Yet, successful women have discovered a secret that they carry silently within their heart's self: belief. This belief is not arrogance. It is not about thinking they are better than others. It is a calm confidence that whispers, "I am enough, I am capable, and I can walk this path." Self-belief often begins in the smallest of ways. Imagine a little girl learning to ride a bicycle. She may fall a few times, scrape her knees, and even cry, but one day she sits on that seat again, balances, and suddenly realizes she can ride. That simple moment of "yes, I can" plants a seed in her heart. As she grows older, life tests her with bigger challenges, exams, career choices, relationships, responsibilities. Each time, self-belief becomes the silent power that tells her, "Try once more. You've done it before. You'll do it again." But what makes this secret so powerful is that it doesn't need external validation. Successful women know that applause and approval are fleeting. If their self-worth is tied only to compliments, they become prisoners of other people's moods. Instead, they choose to anchor themselves within. They speak gently to their own hearts. When no one else says, "I believe in you," they say it to themselves. And in that quiet encouragement, they find the courage to rise. Consider how the world sometimes underestimates women, telling them they cannot lead, cannot dream too big, cannot manage both career and family, cannot break into male-dominated fields. If they listened only to the voices outside, many would never step forward. But the women who succeed are the ones who hold on to that inner certainty. They say, "Even if the world doubts me, I will not doubt myself." This is why so many have rewritten history, not with loud rebellion, but with quiet determination. Self-belief is also what allows them to take risks. Without it, fear becomes a cage. With it, failure becomes a teacher. A woman who believes in herself doesn't see setbacks as proof that she is unworthy. She sees them as steps on the staircase of growth. When others quit after hearing no, she tries again until the yes arrives. That is why her silence is powerful. It is not the silence of weakness, but of faith. The beauty of self-belief is that it doesn't demand perfection. Successful women don't believe they will never make mistakes. They simply believe they are capable of learning, adapting, and moving forward. Their inner dialogue is filled not with criticism, but with encouragement. Even on the hardest days, they remind themselves of how far they've come. They remember battles already fought and victories already won, however small they seemed at the time. In this way, their self-belief becomes contagious. Others around them begin to feel it too. Family, colleagues, friends, people draw courage from their calm strength without announcing it, without demanding attention. They inspire others simply by living with the silent conviction that they are enough, and that truly is the beginning of every success story. If we look closely at the lives of successful women, we find that their greatness did not come from sudden miracles or overnight success. It came from the quiet and patient art of consistency. They understand that one powerful action done once may impress others, but small actions repeated daily transform their lives. Just like a river carves valleys not in a single day, but over centuries of persistent flow, they shape their destiny through steady effort. Consistency is not glamorous. It does not always bring immediate results. It often feels like planting seeds and waiting in silence day after day before the first sprout appears. Many give up in that waiting season, but successful women endure. They wake up each day and commit themselves to their routines. Whether it is learning, working, exercising, or nurturing their families. It is this discipline that sets them apart from the crowd. Think of a woman who dreams of becoming an author. Inspiration may come one day, but if she writes only when she feels like it, her book may never be completed. But if she writes a page every single day, within a year, she holds a manuscript. Consistency turns her dream into reality. Similarly, a woman who dedicates just 30 minutes daily to a skill, learning a language, practicing music, or developing her career, will over time surpass those who started strong but abandoned the journey midway. What makes consistency powerful is that it builds trust within oneself. Each time a woman follows through on her commitment, she strengthens her confidence. She tells herself, "I keep my word." And when life tests her with bigger challenges, she can lean on this record of small victories. Success then becomes not a question of luck, but of rhythm, the rhythm of daily effort aligned with her vision. Even in moments of failure, consistent women do not quit. They may fall short on one day, but they return the next. They understand that success is not about perfection, but persistence. Missing a single step does not mean abandoning the journey. Their silence is not about doing nothing. It is about quietly showing up again and again until the result unfolds. Consistency also earns respect from others. People may not notice the early days of struggle, but over time they see the fruits. They admire the woman who remains steady in her values, in her work ethic, and in her commitments. She doesn't have to announce her dedication. It becomes visible through her actions. The truth is, anyone can be motivated for a day or two, but only those who practice consistency can sustain motivation when emotions fade. Successful women carry this silent secret. They do not depend on fleeting moods, to guide their actions. They build habits so strong that they carry them through even on days when they feel tired or uninspired. This is how dreams are built, not in a rush of excitement, but in the quiet repetition of effort, day after day. In a world that constantly demands more, balance often feels like a luxury. Yet, for successful women, balance is not an accident. It is a conscious choice and a silent secret they hold dearly. They understand that life is not just about achieving goals, but about staying centered while walking through responsibilities, ambitions, relationships, and personal growth. The balance is the art of carrying multiple roles without losing the essence of who they are. Every woman wears many hats: daughter, sister, professional, mother, friend, leader. Each role pulls her in a different direction, asking for time, energy, and attention. Without balance, these roles can collide and cause exhaustion. But successful women silently create harmony between them. They know when to give their fullest to their careers, when to nurture their families, and when to rest and refuel their own souls. It is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about understanding what deserves priority at a particular moment. Balance also means emotional stability. Life is full of highs and lows, and emotions can easily control decisions if not kept in check. Successful women practice the silent wisdom of pausing before reacting. When challenges arise, they do not let anger or fear dominate their choices. Instead, they breathe, reflect, and then act. Their silence in heated moments is not weakness but strength, the strength of self, control, and wisdom. Another dimension of balance lies in dreams versus duties. Many women sacrifice one for the other, believing they cannot walk on both paths. But those who succeed silently show the world that it is possible to dream big while fulfilling responsibilities. They may not talk about their struggles loudly, but their actions reflect how they balance ambition with compassion, work with family, and progress with humility. Balance also means knowing when to stop. The world glorifies constant hustle, but successful women understand that rest is as important as hard work. They do not see pauses as failures. Instead, they treat rest as refueling, a way to preserve energy for greater tasks ahead. Just like a candle cannot burn endlessly without melting away, they know they must care for themselves if they want to shine for others. This balance extends to relationships as well. They choose carefully where to invest their emotional energy. They know they cannot please everyone, so they focus on relationships that nourish them rather than drain them. Their silence protects their peace, and they do not waste words or time on unnecessary conflicts. Instead, they create harmony by being present with those who truly matter. In all these ways, balance is their invisible strength. It does not make noise, yet it reflects in the way they carry themselves with calmness, clarity, and grace. They may stumble at times, but they return to the center, knowing that balance is not a destination, but a daily practice. And this silent art of balance allows them not just to achieve success, but to live a life of wholeness, peace, and fulfillment. One of the most profound secrets of successful women is their willingness to remain lifelong learners. They never allow pride or position to convince them that they know enough. Instead, they carry a quiet humility that keeps their minds open and their hearts receptive. Learning for them is not just confined to classrooms or degrees. It is an ongoing process that unfolds through observation, experience, and reflection. In every conversation, they listen more than they speak. They notice details others overlook. They ask questions without hesitation, and they are not embarrassed to admit what they do not know. This silent practice of being a student in every environment allows them to gather wisdom from unexpected places. A mentor's advice, a colleague's experience, a child's curiosity, or even failure itself, everything becomes a lesson to absorb. They also understand that learning is not limited to success stories. Often, they gain the most insight from mistakes. Instead of being crushed by errors, they treat them as teachers in disguise. A failed project, a wrong decision, or a missed opportunity becomes a mirror, showing them where to improve. Their silence after failure is not the silence of defeat. It is the silence of reflection, where lessons are gathered, stored, and applied for the future. Technology, society, and industries are always evolving, and successful women know that standing still means falling behind. That is why they dedicate time to reading, researching, and upgrading their skills. Even when others assume they have made it, they quietly push themselves further. This hunger for knowledge gives them an edge, because while the world sees their confidence, it is their curiosity that fuels their growth. The secret of learning also extends beyond personal gain. They use what they learn to empower others. By sharing wisdom, mentoring younger women, or guiding their teams, they create ripples of growth around them. Their learning does not stop with themselves. It multiplies, benefiting everyone they touch. In this way, they transform knowledge into impact without ever needing to announce it loudly. Another beautiful aspect of their approach is that they are not afraid to unlearn. They know that holding on to outdated beliefs or rigid methods can become a barrier. When life shows them a better way, they gracefully let go of the old and embrace the new. This flexibility makes them resilient, adaptable, and relevant in a fast, changing world. What makes this secret powerful is the humility it carries. Many people resist learning because they fear looking small. But successful women understand that admitting ignorance is not weakness. It is wisdom. They would rather ask and grow than pretend and remain stagnant. Their silence, in this sense, is not emptiness but attentiveness. It is the silence of a heart that listens, a mind that absorbs, and a spirit that evolves. Through this ongoing journey of learning, they stay alive, fresh, and ever expanding. And though they may never shout about their efforts, their growth becomes visible in their decisions, their achievements, and their graceful presence in the world. There is a silent strength that shines brighter than arguments, louder than complaints, and deeper than anger. It is the strength of grace. Successful women carry this secret in the way they walk, the way they speak, and even the way they respond when life tests them. Grace is not about ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It is about choosing dignity when chaos surrounds them, calmness when provoked, and kindness even when others may not deserve it. When faced with criticism, many react with defensiveness, trying to prove their worth through sharp words or heated debates. But successful women silently embody grace by allowing their actions to speak louder than their voices. They do not waste energy fighting every opinion or confronting every critic. Instead, they continue walking their path with focus, knowing that time itself will reveal the truth. Their quiet grace transforms judgment into admiration, not by force, but by patience. Grace also reveals itself in how they handle relationships. Every person, whether in family, work, or society, comes with imperfections. It is easy to point out flaws and dwell on weaknesses. But women of grace learn to see beyond mistakes. They forgive without holding grudges. They encourage without shaming, and they correct without humiliating. This ability to uplift others without making them feel small becomes one of their most powerful traits. Even in moments of failure, grace becomes their shield. Instead of drowning in self-blame or publicly displaying frustration, they face setbacks with acceptance and humility. They quietly acknowledge what went wrong, learn the lesson, and move forward without bitterness. This dignified way of handling challenges inspires others because it shows that strength does not always roar. It often whispers through composure. Grace also shows in the way they carry success. Achievements can sometimes make people arrogant, but successful women use their victories to spread encouragement rather than pride. They celebrate their milestones with gratitude and share the spotlight with those who supported them along the way. Their humility makes them approachable, their kindness makes them respected, and their calmness makes them admired. In difficult conversations, grace becomes their guide. Where others may use harsh words, they choose gentleness. Where others may raise voices, they choose to listen. Their silence is not weakness, but wisdom. Knowing that not every battle needs to be fought, and not every conflict needs a response, by refusing to let anger control them, they preserve their peace and protect their energy for what truly matters. Grace is also reflected in small, everyday gestures. A reassuring smile to someone struggling, a patient response when rushed, or a gentle word when others expect irritation. These quiet acts create lasting impressions. Without loud announcements, they spread kindness that lingers in the hearts of those around them. In the end, grace is the invisible crown they wear. It doesn't need to shine with glitter, because its glow comes from within. It is the silent choice to be kind when it's easier to be harsh, to remain calm when it's easier to explode, and to keep walking with dignity when the world tries to shake them. And this secret of grace is what makes their success not just admirable, but truly beautiful. Focus is one of the most powerful and silent secrets carried by successful women. In a world that constantly throws distractions, be it endless notifications, competing responsibilities, or the opinions of others, focus becomes their shield. They understand that energy flows where attention goes, and so they guard their attention like a precious treasure by saying yes only to what aligns with their goals and values. They silently build lives of purpose and clarity. The beauty of their focus lies not just in what they pursue, but also in what they choose to let go. Many people spread themselves too thin, trying to chase everything at once. But successful women know that doing everything often means achieving nothing. They choose fewer battles, fewer priorities, but fight them with complete dedication. Their silence here is strategic. They don't waste time explaining why they decline certain paths. Instead, they keep their eyes on the direction that matters most. Focus also brings discipline in there. It is not about one grand effort, but about consistent devotion to a chosen path. A woman who focuses on her career doesn't just dream about success. She shows up every day with her best effort. A woman who focuses on her health doesn't wait for motivation. She quietly trains, eats wisely, and protects her well-being. Focus transforms desires into results because it eliminates the noise of distractions and magnifies the power of effort. This secret also reveals itself when challenges arise. Difficulties often tempt people to abandon their journeys. But a focused woman does not allow setbacks to cloud her vision. She may stumble, but her eyes remain fixed on the destination. She reminds herself why she began, and this memory gives her the strength to continue. Focus for her is not about ignoring obstacles. It is about refusing to let obstacles define her direction. Another silent dimension of focus is the ability to stay present. Many people live torn between the regrets of yesterday and the anxieties of tomorrow. Successful women practice the discipline of being fully in the moment. When they work, they pour themselves into the task at hand. When they spend time with family, they give undivided attention. This presence makes their work efficient and their relationships meaningful. Their focus is not scattered, it is steady wherever they are. Focus also protects their peace. When surrounded by gossip, negativity, or meaningless comparisons, they do not get dragged into it. They silently redirect their energy toward growth and progress. They don't compete with others. They compete with the person they were yesterday. This inward focus keeps them grounded, confident, and immune to unnecessary noise. Most importantly, focus aligns them with their deeper purpose. They know that every day is filled with choices, and each choice either takes them closer to or further from their vision. By keeping their gaze fixed on what truly matters, they ensure that their steps, no matter how small, lead them toward fulfillment. And though the world may not always notice their quiet concentration, the results eventually speak louder than any words. Gratitude is one of the most silent yet powerful secrets of successful women. While the world often chases more wealth, more recognition, more possessions, these women quietly pause to notice what they already have. Their hearts are not restless with complaints, but peaceful with appreciation. Gratitude doesn't mean they lack ambition. It means they build their dreams on a foundation of contentment, not dissatisfaction. Every morning, before being swept into the rush of responsibilities, many successful women begin by reflecting on simple blessings: the gift of health, the love of family, the opportunities they hold, even the air they breathe. These small acknowledgements create a mindset of abundance. Instead of fixating on what is missing, they celebrate what is present. This quiet shift in perspective gives them energy to pursue greater goals without the burden of negativity. Gratitude also shapes how they deal with challenges. Life does not spare anyone from difficulties, and successful women face their share of storms. Yet, instead of drowning in frustration, they search for hidden lessons. Even painful experiences become opportunities to grow, and rather than asking, "Why me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this?" This silent practice allows them to transform setbacks into stepping stones. Maintaining dignity even when circumstances are harsh. Another beautiful aspect of their gratitude is the way it influences relationships. When they acknowledge and appreciate the people around them, bonds strengthen. They do not take kindness for granted, whether it comes from a colleague, a friend, or a family member. A simple thank you, spoken sincerely, becomes a powerful act of respect. In turn, others feel valued and are inspired to give more of their best. This creates an environment of harmony, collaboration, and trust. Gratitude also keeps pride in check. Achievements and success can easily lead to arrogance. But women who practice gratitude remain humble. They remember those who supported them, the mentors who guided them, the opportunities that opened doors. Their victories are celebrated not as solitary triumphs, but as shared journeys. This humility makes their success inspiring rather than intimidating. Even in solitude, gratitude becomes their inner companion. On days when nothing seems to go right, they turn to small joys: a warm cup of tea, a quiet sunset, a smile from a stranger. These moments remind them that beauty exists everywhere, waiting to be noticed. By focusing on such details, they keep their hearts light and hopeful. Most importantly, gratitude shapes the energy they give to the world. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate positivity. Without loud declarations, their thankful spirit creates an aura of peace and encouragement. They don't need to constantly talk about it. Those around them feel it in their presence, in their calmness, and in their generosity. Through this silent secret of gratitude, successful women not only elevate their own lives, but also uplift those who cross their path. Their thankfulness becomes a source of strength, resilience, and joy, a quiet power that sustains them on their journey to greatness. Resilience is a silent strength that successful women carry deep within them. It is not visible in their smiles, nor always spoken about in their words, but it shows itself in the way they rise after every fall. Life tests everyone, sometimes with failures, sometimes with heartbreaks, sometimes with disappointments that shake the very core of one's being. Yet what separates successful women from the rest is not that they escape these trials, but that they respond to them with quiet endurance. When challenges arrive, they do not rush to complain or broadcast their pain to the world. Instead, they step back, breathe, and allow themselves the time to process. Their silence in those moments is not weakness, it is a gathering of strength. They understand that storms eventually pass, and what matters is how firmly they stand when the winds are against them. Resilience teaches them that suffering is temporary, but the lessons gained through it are permanent treasures. Consider the countless times women are underestimated, overlooked, or told that their dreams are impossible. Some give in to such voices, but resilient women take those words as fuel. They do not argue with daughters. They quietly prove them wrong through perseverance. Every rejection becomes a stepping stone. Every failure a source of wisdom. Their strength lies not in avoiding pain, but in transforming it into progress. Resilience also shows in their ability to adapt. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and detours can feel discouraging. But resilient women do not cling rigidly to what is lost. They adjust, they learn, and they create new paths forward. Their flexibility becomes their superpower, allowing them to thrive even in situations that could have broken them. They bend without breaking, like a tree that sways in the wind, yet stands tall when the storm is over. Another dimension of resilience is emotional maturity. Instead of letting bitterness consume them, they choose healing. Instead of carrying anger, they carry lessons. This emotional discipline allows them to continue loving, serving, and leading even after being hurt. Their ability to rise without resentment is what makes them truly unshakable. Even in the darkest times, they carry hope. Hope is the quiet companion of resilience. It whispers, tomorrow can be better. Successful women lean on this hope, not loudly but silently, as they take one small step after another. And over time, those steps accumulate into a journey of triumph. Resilience is not loud, it does not seek attention, but its effects are impossible to ignore. It allows women to move forward when others have stopped, to rebuild when others have given up, and to shine even after being through fire. It is this secret that makes their stories not just about success, but about inspiration, reminders that strength is not in never falling, but in rising every single time.